Me, camping 3 weekends ago in Roscommon State Park, Michigan, with a friend, who we will call B. Never have gone winter camping before but figured we would give it a try. We arrive at the trailhead that leads into the forest at around 11 a.m. and then set out to find a spot to camp at. Eventually come across a clearing next to a stream after a few hours later of following the trail. We set up our campsite there, which includes B's tent, my tarp and sleeping bag, a fire pit, and a tarp for laying our gear on. Spend the remaining hours of daylight collecting firewood and keeping our fire going. It's only a few degrees above 0 Fahrenheit, but we manage to keep warm by constantly moving around and staying near our fire. Shoot the shit, drink some beers, and enjoy ourselves after the sun goes down around 6 p.m. Cook some bacon and go to bed early since we want to go rabbit hunting early the next day. Wake up at around 10 p.m. needing to take a piss. Crawl out of my sleeping bag, put on my frozen boots, and walk a few meters into the woods to piss. Midstream I catch movement out of the corner of my eye from about 20 meters away. It's pitch black out so can't make out what it is, but it seemed tall and humanoid. Finish piss while keeping an eye in the general area of where I saw it, feeling a bit anxious. I don't see any more movement, so I assume the figure went behind a tree or something. Want to make sure it's not B, so I walk over to his tent. Get a bit more anxious after realizing I can hear bees snoring through his tent. I don't want to take chances, so I grab my shotgun I had laying next to my sleeping bag and yell at B to wake up. I hear him wake up startled within his tent. He asks me what's wrong and I explain to him what I saw. He spends a few minutes getting dressed and climbing out of his tent. He's annoyed for having been woken up but also concerned about the situation. After B confirms with me that what I saw wasn't a deer or some other animal, we agree not to take any chances with some psychopath in the woods. I shine my flashlight in the area where I saw the figure but we don't see anything. We grab our guns, essential items, and make our way back onto the trail to go back to our cars. Both on high alert, I lead with my flashlight pointed forwards while he periodically scans our surroundings. The woods are dead silent other than the crunching of snow beneath us. The narrow path, thick snow-covered tree line, and moonless night don't help the mood. After about 20 minutes into our mostly silent hike back, we reach part of the trail where a tree has partially fallen over on, forcing us to essentially crawl underneath it. I go through first, stand up, and direct my flashlight at B while he crawls underneath. After he makes it through, I turn around and adjust my flashlight back onto the trail. That's when I spot the figure. Now partially visible from my flashlight, I can see the figure's head poking out from behind a tree no more than 10 meters ahead of us. Its skin nearly white as the snow, hairless, with its elongated skull perched at what must have been at least 2.5 meters off the ground. Its abyssal black, beady eyes piercing right into me. I stand frozen with fear as B stands up and quickly comes to the same discovery of whatever it is that stands in my flashlight. B is a big guy, think Sam Hyde's stature, but I could tell he also was shocked out of fright. B and I stare off with the thing for an unknown amount of time. It is hard to tell when you're frightened. The thing makes the next move, crouching down, revealing more of its body, and moving onto the trail. It had to have been at least 2 meters long. It was scrawny, and hairless except for the pubic region. It slowly drops down onto all 4 of its webbed hands and feet on the trail. It turns around and begins fucking crawling away from us casually. B and I are still standing there motionless, watching as the thing silently crawls away from us and into the depths of the night. We must have stood there for at least 5 minutes after it was out of our sight, scared shitless. Without saying a word to each other, we eventually gather the courage to continue down the trail, guns drawn. We couldn't find any footprints left behind from it. It takes at least another 20 minutes of walking for us to get back to the cars, without any other encounters. We quickly throw our shit in our cars and drive into Houghton Lake, the nearest town. We find a McDonald's and crash in their parking lot for the night. The creature kinda resembled the attached picture, except for the lack of pubic hair and webbed feet and hands. B and I have only spoken about the incident once,